Why you see shapes in the clouds. Clustering illusion. In 1957, Swedish opera singer Fredrik Jorgensen bought a tape player to record his vocals. When he listened back to the recording, he heard strange noises throughout, whispers that sounded like supernatural messages. A few years later, he recorded birdsong. This time, he heard the voice of his deceased mother in the background, whispering to him, "Fried, my little Fried, can you hear me? It's Mammy." That did it. Jorgensen turned his life around and devoted himself to communicating with the deceased via tape recordings. In 1994, Diane Deuser from Florida also had an otherworldly encounter. After biting into a slice of toast and placing it back down on the plate, she noticed the face of the Virgin Mary in it. Immediately, she stopped eating and stored the divine message, minus a bite, in a plastic container. 10 years after, in November 2004, she auctioned the still fairly well-preserved snack on eBay. Her daily bread earned her $28,000. In 1978, a woman from New Mexico had a similar experience. It is very similar to Dreiser's experience. Her tortillas' blackened spots resembled Jesus' face. The press latched onto the story, and thousands of people flocked in New Mexico to see the Savior in his burrito form. In a similar encounter, 2 years earlier, in 1976, the orbiter of the Viking spacecraft photographed a rock formation that, from high above, looked like a human face. The face on Mars, as they called it, made headlines around the world. And you? Have you ever seen faces or patterns in the clouds, like outlines of animals? Or have you seen these outlines or patterns in rocks? Of course, this is perfectly normal. The human brain seeks patterns and rules. In fact, it takes it one step further. If it finds no familiar patterns, it simply invents some. The more diffuse the signal, such as the background noise on the tape, the easier it is to find hidden messages in it. 25 years after uncovering the face on Mars, the Mars Global Surveyor sent back crisp, clear images of the rock formations. The captivating human face had dissolved into plain old screen. These frothy examples make the clustering illusion seem innocuous, but it is not. Consider the financial markets, which churn out floods of data every second. Grinning from ear to ear, a friend of Rolf Dobelli told him that he had discovered a pattern in the sea of data. If you multiply the percentage change of the Dow Jones by the percentage change of the oil price, his friend said, you get the move of the gold price in 2 days' time. In other words, Rolf Dobelli's friend said that if share prices in oil climb or fall in unison, gold will rise eventually the day after tomorrow. His theory, according to Dobelli, worked well for a few weeks until he began to speculate with ever larger sums and eventually squandered his savings. He had sensed a pattern where none existed. Take a look at the following pattern of X and O's. Is this sequence random or planned? Psychology professor Thomas Gilovic interviewed hundreds and hundreds of people for an answer. Most of them did not want to believe that the sequence was arbitrary. It's completely random. They figured that some law must govern the order of the letters, which was wrong, explained Gilovic, and pointed to some dice. It is quite possible to roll the same number in a die 4 times in a row, which mystifies so many people. Apparently, we have trouble accepting that such events can take place purely by chance. During the World War II, the Germans bombed London. Among other ammunition, they used V-1 rockets. It is a kind of a self-navigating drone. With each attack, the impact sites were carefully plotted on a map, which terrified Londoners. They thought that they had discovered the pattern and developed theories about which parts of the city were the safest. However, after the war, statistical analysis confirmed that the distribution was totally random. Today, it's clear why. The V1's navigation system was extremely inaccurate. In conclusion, when it comes to pattern recognition, we are very sensitive. So when it comes to seeing a pattern, we have to regain our skepticism that if we think that we have discovered the pattern, we must first consider it pure chance. If it seems too good to be true, find a mathematician or a statistician and have the data tested statistically. And also, if the crispy parts of your pancake starts to look a lot like Jesus' face, ask yourself, if he really wants to reveal himself, why doesn't he do it in the Times Square or on CNN?